Hi, it's Emily or Emmy Rose 22A, and I am back with day 5 of the Christmas Art Journal Advent Calendar put on by Mickie's Mind. I will have a link down below to her YouTube channel and her blog where she explains the process for this. Day 5 is a technique, and the technique for today is to use lace or ribbon. I don't have much of either, but as usual, hunting around my mom's house, I found some, well, she found, she knows what she's got. She got this awesome ribbon last year. She's pretty sure it came from Sam's Club. She got it at the After Christmas special, so it looks like music notes with the pretty gold. So I'm going to use this. This was kind of my inspiration for today's page. I did take the time to coffee dye my paper. I followed Shannon Green's instructions that she uses. I'll leave a link down below. She does a cold brew and then she shows you how she coffee dyes after she's made her cold brew. So if you kind of zip ahead in the video, you'll find her coffee dyeing technique. The back side where the grounds actually were kind of came a little splotchy, and I don't know that I love that one as much, so I'm going with this side. There are a few light spots where they must not have absorbed the water fully, but it just adds to the character. I kind of thought with this ribbon it needed a colored background, not just the stark white paper. It looked kind of funky being on just the white paper. So I went with this. So I'm going to have 3 lines of that going across. So it's almost like, I know there are like staffs of the music within each strip of ribbon, but these are going to be kind of like my lines of the music. And then we also bought a cutout thing. I think it was from Die Cuts with a View. I got it at Joann's at their 60% off Christmas stuff, so it was like $6, and it made this really cute Happy Holidays banner with these, and then there were these little ball thingies, and there were lights that came with it. Oh, there's some of the letters. So we had a whole bunch of these banner flaggy pennant things left over, so I decided that I would use these. I'm going to score them and fold them over so they kind of hang on a string maybe over the things. I might just lay them on. I'm not 100% on that one. But I will be scoring them about 5/8 of an inch down, so they will be shorter so that they fit a little better. And again, these are very, very white for my backgrounds. So I decided we'll try a new technique today. We're going to do some ink smooshing. I've got my vintage photo distress ink. I'm going to smear it on my, this is it's a cutting mat, but it's my nonstick craft surface. Add some water and smush the tags in there to give them some color. It'll kind of play off of the coffee dye paper too. I'm hoping these come out a little bit darker, but not too dark. And then I have a gold Sharpie paint pen that I want to write my letters on. So it'll be a letter on each one. So it'll be Joy to the World. So let's get on with our ink smooshing, since that is going to need to dry. And we'll see how this goes. I've never done this before. I've seen it a lot on like card making videos. And I know I may need to do a couple of like layers of the smooshing. So we shall see. And I have quite a few, 13 I guess, little banner thingies. And it seems like I want quite a bit of water, especially for this first set of them. So, whoop, careful where you're flipping, lady. And that's kind of the idea, is it just gives you this nice watercolored, wet look. Kind of ink blobby droppy. Like I said, I'm just kind of going for like a old parchment, oops, kind of a look. Maybe I'll do my first few, and then I can't decide if I want to let these air dry or if I want to try to hit them with my heat gun to speed up the drying process and maybe move some of those drops around to make them a little more splotchy. I know a lot of people do like a second set of this with more or less water to get just a few more blots, because you can just dab them in there instead of, I'm kind of immersing mine in there. That's the look I'm going for. I don't know if it's bad to just stick this back down, but we're going to. So I need some more smooshing room. Because I was lightening up. And her banner could have said Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. So, and apparently there were 2 Merry Christmases, because you could have done them back to back if that was the look you were going for. And this guy's a little bit light. So we're a couple of these. So since I have some ink, I'm going to stick them back in. And his one little flaggy leg didn't get it. I'm kind of liking that little smooshed blotted look. And uniformity isn't the most necessary in this. I just want to make sure my pieces aren't white is really a big part of what I'm going for here. And this is just not even a super thick cardstock, so there's probably going to be some warping and whatnot. So I'm going to, I think, hit these with my heat gun. And let's see how they dry. Dried now, and I have not checked them. I actually kind of match my background quite a bit, so I'm thinking I might end up edging those maybe with black. Oh, or maybe the same vintage photo distress ink to give them a little darkness. But one thing I wanted to do that I have seen done by many people with their distress inks is you mist them with some water, and then you let it sit for a second and dab it up with a paper towel. It gives it a little more like. And this is a super fine mister, so it may or may not give me the effect I'm going for, but we shall see. So you just let it sit for like 30 seconds or something. Distress inks are water, they're water-based and they're water-reactive. So the thinking is where the water droplets hit, the water reactivates, and then you're able to lift up a little bit of the ink. And it gives you a little more texturing, which I'm not getting a whole lot of lift up, but it is giving me a little more texture on my pages, like you can see, especially like on this one, how there's a lot more texture on there now. So I think as far as that goes, I'm going to be happy with what I've got on here. They dried up pretty well with my heat tool, and that spraying them barely got them anything. My concern with this is I'm not going to be able to get in the points. We've had this issue before with that big ink pad. Let me get my cocoa brown. Here is my cocoa brown, or rich cocoa, I guess is what it's called, Memento Dewdrop. And we will, I didn't necessarily, I know there's black on the thingy, on the music notes, but kind of like to keep this a lot more like sepia vintage style. So let's verify how this is looking before I keep going. Well, that helps them stand out much better. They still blend with the background quite a bit. Hopefully they will be. I'll just have to make them short enough that they stay on the music things so that they don't blend too much with the background. So let me edge all these and we will see how they're coming. My battery went dead while I was sticking these down, so I went ahead and finished them up, and I stuck the backs down. I left this last one to show you how I did it. I just took my double-sided tape and stuck it on just right by the edges right there. I should have started this so that it was ready to go before I started filming. That would have been a smart thing to do. Then I just took the ribbon and I kind of folded it back. I started in the middle and pulled that up, and then these edges have wire in them, so I just made sure those laid down and then just smoothed them out. I am really pleased with how, oops, that's upside down, how smooth this came out on the page. It's looking very, very nice. My pieces are, my little banner pieces are dry. I don't know. I don't know that the camera's picking up the shimmer on these, but they have a really pretty gold shimmer that's really subtle. I don't know if it's because of all the water I put on them or what, but I really wasn't caring for the edging, so I edged them in black. They still match my background quite well, but that'll be okay. So now I need to score them, and to do my scoring, I am just using my cutting board and, my cutter and a bone folder. So I want these scored at 5/8, so I'm going to line it up with the 5/8 on the right side of my square, and I should be able to just use my bone folder right in the cutting groove, and yeah, you can see that. There's now a groove in there, and so these will just fold right back nice and even. Again, I'll use my bone folder to straighten them out, and then I will use another piece of this adhesive tape to run along there to close that, but I think I'm going to run them on some kind of cord first. I'm not sure if I'm going to use a gold floss or what exactly, and then I'm thinking I might ink the top edge there as well. It kind of looks like it's unfinished with it the way it is. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks, to me, it looks very, like you can see the black outline around them, and then it's got the top. So I'm going to do that. You don't need to watch me score and fold and ink. And then we will come back and I am going to do the wording. I'm going to handwrite my letters in each box. I've been working on a little bit of shading, and I am going to use a gold Sharpie paint marker, which I did use the white Sharpie in the other one, and these Sharpies are so much better than that painter one I have. I only have the one painter paint marker, and I have so far 2 of these Sharpie ones. Well, I have 3. I have the silver, the gold, and the white. I've only used the gold and the white, and I'm loving these, especially compared to those painters. These Sharpies are so much better, so I don't know if I got a bad one from the painter group or what, but for me, for the most part in the future, I'll be buying Sharpie ones. So I will be back to do the lettering so you can see how I do that and how I do the shading. I may do some outlining of the lettering. I'm not 100%. And when I come back, I will have my cording also so you can see how I'm going to string these up. So I will see you in a minute. I am going to work on my lettering for my pennants now. I did crease them. There is dry adhesive on the back, so I can put them over there. They're going to be hanging on these super thin gold wires across the top banners, to make them banners, I should say. And I did ink the tops, as you can see. I just thought it finished them off a little bit. So I am handwriting these, so we shall see how it goes. I'm using my Sharpie paint pen. We kind of talked about that before, but I was really liking these. Just making sure it's writing before I get going. I've kind of practiced this in pencil, so I know how I would like to do my kind of shading in depth. We will see how that goes. I'm going to do these on here and see how I like them, and then I may outline them with a Pitt pen. This is a Faber-Castell. It's the medium. I think it's a 0.7. It's the depth I liked the best. But we will see. I want to get the letters on here first, put them on my page to sample them, and then we'll see how they do. So I think I am just going to go ahead and work on my letters now. I like that well enough. Let me scooch these out of the way and I'll kind of place them where they're going to go. They are a little crowded, but they seem to pop really well as far as they look on camera. So I'm going to put them on their wires now. And for now, I'm just going to place the wire behind them and peel the back off and stick them down. So that's nothing super rocket science. So I'll come back after I've got my strings done, and we'll work out how to arrange them and how to secure my strings to the back. I may have to like stick these guys down to keep them kind of going how I want them to go. I'm not sure, so I'll play a little bit with that and we'll be back with what I figure out. I have got them set in place. Like I said, I've got them strung on these really thin wires. I had them set out like I had initially said, with Joy to the and World on the bottom. When I got the to the on its wire, I could easily tell it was going to be too long and there wouldn't be room for the space in between them. And then when I got World on, it also was way too long. So I took them off, and I don't know how well you can see it, but I trimmed them. So I angled them. They go about halfway down, the angles do, so that they sit much more closely to each other. And then I separated to and the, because they needed to be a little more kind of staggered. So I think this one will go up there, this one will go about here, and then my World does fit almost perfectly down on this bottom one. And you can have a little bit of angle, but not a lot. So I'm going to wrap these wires to the back, and I think tape them in place. And then I think I'm okay with the flags being kind of flappy. They seem to be staying in place okay. I'll see how they do when I get the wires secured to the back. And then I did take my December 5th and I edged it in brown. It's in the cocoa, the rich cocoa. And it's, I think, going to go down here. I was going to put it in the center of the page, but if you notice, I have a little like coffee dye gooby right there. So we're just going to make that go away. So I'm going to secure my wires in place, and if I decide I need to stick some things down, I'll come back and show you how or why. And I'm going to glue this in place, and then I think we should be about done with day 5. So I will be back in just one moment. And here is my finished day 5. I think it turned out super awesome. I love the way the ribbon laid down. I like the way my banners, if you look, they're very floppy, which means they could be a little different every year, and that's fine. You just kind of got to scooch them where they go, and the little tails get caught on the edge of the ribbon a little bit, but it's okay. Like I said, I'm thrilled. It's very different from my other pages, which I very much enjoy. I'm really worried that I'm going to run out of ideas and they're going to start looking the same as we get going. So, at least this one doesn't. Not yet, and I got it to keep inside. I was also very worried about these flaps being out for storage because they'd get bent, and so they'll stay inside. Even if it hangs down a little bit while it's on the board, I can tuck them in for storage. So there we go for day 5. Thank you so much for following along on this journey with me. I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying these. I definitely am. I might have a little sneak in kind of thing of some Christmas cards I'm working on for during the week. It'll be a shorter video, which will be nice for a lot of you. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and otherwise just watch for my days to keep going. Thank you so much. Bye.